Hey everybody, Happy New Year's. I was talking to my supplier from Japan real quick, and she dropped a little bit of a bomb on me, so I wanted to go check it out, and to my surprise, she wasn't joking. So she shared with me, and I'll share the screen so you guys can see it like I am, that Super Electric Breaker in Japan is out of stock in the Pokemon Center, and I thought that was interesting because here I am trying to order some more, because often what people buy from me is this one, Terastal Festival, and once in a while I get people that want some ruler or Mask of Change just because, you know, they use it for giveaways or rewards or whatever it is. And so, like I mentioned, I'm restocking on Super Electric Breaker, and I was surprised to see the prices going up a little bit higher than what it normally is. And then she told me it's no longer available in certain locations. And obviously this is saying out of stock, but it's not permanently out of stock. Something I'm going to clarify is out of stock is meaning that it's just not currently available at this moment versus out of print, which is what I also thought was surprising when I looked at some of the other things that are listed here as well. Because if we look, there are several other products listed that are out of stock. Now again, it makes sense why Super Electric Breaker is out of stock because this is the one that has a lot of people's attention. It's a good alternative to getting the Pikachu if you can't afford a Surging Sparks box. You have an option to get the Japanese version at possibly a quarter of the price. And if not, you still have some other great cards. The Milotic in particular is one of mine, but there are so many others. And it's not like Japanese product isn't gaining a lot of popularity. Terastal Festival for now is still for the most part readily available. Obviously it's going up in price every day currently, but again, a lot of people speculate that in the future, once more sets come out, people will start to forget, and then we'll see the price drop down as people focus on maybe battle partners or any other future set like the Team Rocket set. But here's the big one. Shiny Treasures EX is a big one. The reason being that similarly to Paldean Fates, it has a lot of the chase cards that people are hunting for right now. And again, if you can't get your hands on Paldean Fates at a reasonable price, why not get Shiny Treasures EX? I'm sure what a lot of people think, and whether you're a collector, you're just doing whatnot, or you just, whatever the case may be, this is just an easy set to get. It's really affordable, and it was printed to the ground. So currently it's relatively cheap, but now it's showing out of stock. And most people would say that after 2 years, that's when their print cycle ends. Oftentimes, this isn't always the case. Some people say that some never get reprinted again, especially depending on demand for the product. So for example, Stellar Crown or Stellar Miracle, it didn't have a lot of popularity over here or in Japan for the most part from what I can see. So it's still relatively cheap. And so because of that, a lot of people speculate they probably won't reprint it. And yes, now the English version is starting to skyrocket because of, you know, there isn't that much else to buy and people prefer that over some of the other choices that they have now, say maybe Paradox Rift, but the Japanese version is still relatively affordable. And so that's why Shiny Treasures is always a good choice. It's a choice that I've always just bought a couple of just because I don't think you could ever go wrong. Any customer, whenever they come to me and they're unsure, you know, they want to try something other than Super Electric Breaker, this is usually the set I recommend because you always get something out of it. Even the top hits don't always mean that it's the best card for a lot of people. Yeah, sure, I know everybody's hunting for the Bubble Mew, but there are still some pretty good hits in there, and so this is just a solid set. Real quick, guys, I just gotta ask, which one's your favorite Mew? Because I know that there's a lot of hype behind the Bubble Mew up there, but I personally think that the 151 Mew's just better. The little floating one where he's going through the sky, I just think it looks better. Now, I've always speculated that because of what happened to V-Star and all the other ones like this before, also say maybe 151, for example, obviously two different ideas, but sets like this, once they go out of print, people seem to, as always, miss the set. They feel nostalgic or they want to get their hands on it, or the value of some of the pulls in this set become incredibly expensive, and so there you go, people start to hunt for it and then it shoots up. V-Star is a great example because right now it had a small reprint, so you could get it for somewhere between $75 to $90 depending on who you're buying it from. But I can't help but feel that Shiny Treasure, because of the fact the way that maybe Paldean Fates is moving, might have a similar impact where it might have a little bit more of a meteoric rise. Now, I'm not sure where these things cap out. I don't really know because for some reason it's inconsistent, right? 151 shot up to $300 at one point, and right now you can get it somewhere between $85 to $100. But hey, when it comes to 151, let me know your thoughts. Do you think it's gonna shoot right back up to 300 just like it did the last time it went out of print, or, you know, no longer was going to be printed? And again, as always, guys, I do have my own store. Check it out. I always throw it up on screen. It's always in the link. You can come and support me if you're interested in buying some Japanese cards as well. Does that mean 151 will ever go back to that price? I don't know, but that's why I'm kind of hesitant to say where shiny treasures will eventually fall off. And again, I don't think this is fully out of print yet either. Currently, I just think it's out of stock. It will come back. I think people will be able to get their hands on it, but I do think that we'll start seeing that price rise for maybe another 3 or 4 months, and then it might be just gone completely. Then maybe there's a world where it starts to shoot up to $70, $80 a box, if that. But again, that's just a guess. I wouldn't really know. I'm no expert in that stuff. Another one that's rising up in popularity is Ruler of the Black Flame. And although it does have some decent pulls, primarily people just love Charizard. I think that the Cleffa or the Ninetales are really the big winners in my eyes. But hey, I'm just a reseller. What do I know? I understand why some of them aren't as expensive, like say the Ninetales, because it's so easy to pull. I think I have 4 of them myself. But I just sometimes think that certain cards are much better looking than others, and yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. Do I think that this one will have the same rise as maybe Shiny Treasures? Probably not. But the thing I wanted to point out about this set is the fact that this set did release before Shiny Treasures EX, meaning that there is a chance that it will probably go out of print sooner than later, especially since it's about to hit its 2-year mark as well in 2 months, I believe. So who's to say they just don't go, you know what? Let's move on. We're struggling to print enough Terastal Festival anyways. Let's just focus on that stuff instead and make sure that we get enough battle partners out for the future and just let some of these go. So there is a world where this might shoot up and spike up in price. I'm already seeing the price go up, but again, I don't know. Best I could imagine is that this is a $60 box at best in the future. And if you're wondering why, I think in maybe 2-3 months, it won't be more than like $70, $80. And I could be wrong. Again, I'm no pro at this. I'll explain it when I talk about a different set. If we want to really talk about that release window, then we should look at 151, because this is a set that always got a lot of attention behind it. And yes, right now it has a ton of competition with Terastal Festival, and obviously we haven't seen all of Battle Partners yet. But hey, if you remember on the Pokemon Center website, which I believe which I thought I was blocking, but I'm not. It's right next to me. Oh, I'm pointing the wrong way. That one right there. Come on, work with me. There you go. That one. That's the one. That's Battle Partners right there, and it's already out of stock. As it is, the price for that set is bonkers. But I'd rather make a whole video on that one later, just focusing back on the fact that for 151, the 2-year time span that a lot of people often refer to is pretty much almost here. It's beyond me if we'll see it hit that $300 mark again, but it wouldn't surprise me just because of the fact that people love this set. And with the way streaming culture is, with whatnot, or just stream openings in general, and the fact that you're also competing with Japan's population itself, which makes a lot of sense. It's produced in their country. They want their own cards as well. And then of course you have just collectors, resellers, people that are investing in that stuff. There's a lot more competition now, so who knows how expensive 151 is gonna get, but it wouldn't surprise me if it gets really expensive really fast. I don't know about Evolving Skies fast, but you know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna get up there. I know personally that I have 2 cases that I'm just never gonna sell. Pretty sure I'm just gonna save them and give them to my kids. But tangent aside, I want to talk about Clay Burst real quick because of the fact that I keep referring to the 2-year time span and why I don't really understand how some of these boxes will or won't move, and why it's hard for me to predict. The market will tell. But one of the biggest things that I'm looking at is Clay Burst is a little bit more expensive than your other sets right now, primarily because the Ionos. Iono just seems to be a popular character in Japan. It's a lot of the reason why people speculate Battle Partners sold out so fast. You get the promotional card with each box you get, so you know, people bought it in masses, I'm sure, and now you know, the resellers that are reselling to people like me, or then reselling it to you guys, are keeping their promos or selling it at a premium because they love their Iono. As we know, we're towards the end of the Scarlet and Violet set, and with that in mind, that clearly means that they're not going to be making these cards forever. They're going to have to stop eventually, and if Clayburst continues to move the way it is, this is probably a more valuable set depending on you as an individual as to which one you should get. Me personally, I would be buying Shiny Treasures EX while it's cheap, just because I think it's a good set, and whether you're collecting it or using it to invest, I just think that no matter what, you can't go wrong with it right now. But here's my big thing as to why I don't really understand it sometimes. So my biggest thing is why I don't really always understand how these are going to get valued at in the future is because if we look at Paldea Evolved, which a lot of people speculate will blow out the $200 booster box price in no time just because of how popular it is and how unappreciated it was, and even though it did have a small reprint over here recently, it didn't really move the needle too much. People bought it up in this boom, so that's no surprise. It is just going to continue to shoot it up. Me personally, if I could get it for a good deal, I would definitely be buying a case of it right now. Sorry, I watch a lot of investing videos. I love that stuff. But my big thing is when it comes to how the Japanese ones move, they're not one-to-one because Paldea Evolved is 3 sets. Triple Beat, Play Burst, and Snow Hazard. I believe I said the third one wrong. Maybe, I'm sorry. But regardlessly, earlier when I looked at Clay Burst, which is more expensive because of the Ionos, well, over here, the English version is being driven up by the Magikarp. Nobody really cares too much about the Ionos, to my knowledge. And so it's kind of hard to say what will really drive up the price. Will people over here recognize, hey, you know what, Triple B is still relatively inexpensive, I can buy a ton of it, and then, you know, they'll push the Japanese Magikarp to be more of a premium card over here as well. But if that was the case, Triple Beat then would be more valuable over here. But again, it's just something that doesn't always make sense to me one-to-one, especially because for me, Triple Beat has some banger cards. I think the Magikarp is great, but, and this is just more so a personal favorite of mine because I really enjoyed playing Scarlet and Violet with my son. So I picked Fuecoco. He started off with Sprigatito. And so when I saw the Fuecoco line where he evolves while he's doing grocery shopping or just, you know, shopping around the town, and you see him eventually become the Skeledirge and he's like walking next to his Pokemon trainer, I just love cards like that where they tell a story. It's really good stuff. So for me, I would think Triple B is better. But again, right now the market doesn't feel that way. But again, guys, I don't have all the answers. I wouldn't even know. And this isn't really an investing video. This is more so me just giving my thoughts and really giving a call out to the fact that there's a good chance that some of these boxes are going to blow up soon, if not at least move up in value. So this will be a good chance for anybody that's trying to get their hands on them to do so now, especially before it becomes too late. In particular, I'm talking about 151 and Shiny Treasures EX, just because of the fact that if those really are going to blow up in value, you want to catch them before it's too late, especially because something I learned that was really great investing advice in the stock market, and I think it relates to just Pokemon collecting in general, is that once it hits the public, it's too late. Once everybody finds out that this is the end of 151 or this might be the end of Shiny Treasures EX, good luck. Good luck trying to get your hands on it. Good luck trying to find it at a reasonable price. And then we get all the angry videos that people make or all the angry comments like, oh, I wish I would have known, or I'm so mad at everybody else from buying it up. You have your chance now. This is your chance. Buy it. I'm not even saying it, buy it from me. I'm just saying you should buy it if you really want it. It's cheap. Now would be a good time to get it. Anyways, guys, again, Happy New Year's. I'll talk to y'all later. Yes, I know I make more edited videos most of the time, but I just wanted to get this out of the way because this is something that I don't see a lot of people talking about right now, and I wanted to draw some attention to it.